this quote was perfect timing in my life because it talks about in the beginning, when people walk away from you, let them go. So I had to let those two folks go in my mind, and my destiny is never tied to anyone who leaves you. So my destiny is not tied to those two folks who left. It's me still in control of my destiny. And the best part about that is I still love my job and I love the people I work with. It's just that those two people now are not part of my work career. They're part of my friend family. And I think I was brought to that quote, to live through that quote after writing this book. So that really hit home with me. And I've used it on many people. I've talked about the same situation because those same two people who left me also left a number of folks that I work with. And I felt it was important to kind of bring that. I even talked about that quote to them about that.
A double dipper episode, That Entrepreneur Show and Writing with Authors. I met today's guest as a book coach, helping him put his book together. And if you're watching on, I'll have him hold it up. Charlie, welcome to the podcast.
Yes. Thanks so much, Vince. Great to see you. Can you see that in your screen okay?
Yeah, life, leadership, and success. We're going to dive into all what the book is about. He's a leadership expert. That's why I'm bringing him here to That Entrepreneur Show, because he has tons of experience with some of the top organizations, and he can talk about his work way better than I can. But I want to welcome you to the podcast. Remember to subscribe to stay current so you don't miss any episodes like today. And as I said, we have a leadership expert on the show today to help all of our business owners out there, all of our writers and readers out there. But I didn't meet him that way. I met him helping him put his amazing story together. Charlie, let's have an introduction to who you are, and then we'll get into what led to the book.
Yeah, well, hello to all of your viewers. So my name is Charlie Newcomb, and I was very involved. Vince helped me quite a bit with my book, and this is my paperback version, which I have a lot of tabs because there's so many book references that I'm always talking about and quotes, because I really talk a lot about quotes. But my story started many years ago when I was a young 18-year-old. And while going to college, took a job at McDonald's in the grill area. And that job, while I was going to college, led to a long 33-year career in the McDonald's world. And I have nothing but such a positive experience through that, that all of the leadership that I learned, I owe to McDonald's and its training. I mean, I was blessed to attend a seminar talking about Ken Blanchard and the 1 Minute Manager. And that kind of molded my life when it comes to managing people. And then the other person that was influenced in that was Stephen Covey, was a big part of my life in his world of management and the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Anyway, that's a tongue twister. Inspired me to write my book because I was always blessed with some great training that I just wanted to share. And I love telling my story. I love talking about leadership. And there's so many skills that go into that we don't realize our leadership that we demonstrate on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I thought our conversation today is going to be super impactful for all of our listeners. He's someone who was at the forefront of setting the example, the company culture, all those things. Charlie, say there's a business owner tuning in today who knows they need to improve their culture at their company, right? He needs to, or she needs to be a better leader. What are some things they can start to do at the surface level just to get started and make a difference?
Gosh, that's a loaded question because there's, the start to do type thing. And I've always said that one of the most important things a leader can do of your people is listen. Listen to what they're saying. And sometimes the message that somebody is portraying to you isn't the message itself. It's what's under that surface of that particular person. And there are so many people that have leadership skills sheltered within them that they don't know how to express that. There are always certain people that like to offer a suggestion about something, or some people refer to them as complainers. And my philosophy has always been, if you have something that you're upset about, that you want to complain about, offer a solution. Just don't be that person that comes and tells you everything that's wrong. Offer the solution, and a person, that boss, would appreciate that. And we're all great at identifying the problem, but be that leader and identify a solution. So, going back to your question about that leader starting out, listen to your people, trust your people. They may fail, they may fall on their face, but let them fall on their face. Let them dig out of it. Let them learn from their mistakes. You see that all the time. People learn by their mistakes. And if you're that leader that lets them make those mistakes and save face a little bit and correct a wrong, that can go miles.
I love how you said that. So, if they do make a mistake, someone on your team makes a big mistake, what is a good way to go about it as a leader, right? We let them try, we let them maybe fail, right? Quote unquote. How should you approach it? Should you scream at them? Should you make them feel less than? Or how should you make them feel?
I think every situation is different, because if it involves a illegal activity, that's a little bit different. But if they made a simple mistake that might have cost the company a little bit of money, be that person that shows empathy to the situation, lets them correct themselves and feel good about that. And even though you messed up, be that boss to let them pick themselves up and right the wrong.
That's why I kind of asked. I said, we're not going to yell at them, right? Because I knew you were going to come back with the appropriate answer. Try to have empathy. Remember, we're not robots. We are human. Mistakes are going to happen. There's a lot of factors that go in. And now I want to switch back to your book here. What has writing a book done for your personal career, your professional career? What are some of the benefits you found?
Well, it's interesting. Best thing that I probably got out of writing this book was realizing the impact that I've had on others. And I've always been a big believer in having a mentor. And I write a lot about having that mentor. I really believe that every person aspiring to grow in their career needs to have a mentor to learn by. And the biggest mistake sometimes people make in a mentor is they think it should be their boss. And your boss should never be in a mentor. And think also of the people that potentially you've impacted on your life without realizing it. And I've often thought of people in my career that pass through my mind. And I think that of the situation that I saw them handle a little bit in the previous situation, for example, that I learned from that. And I guess the thing that really developed as part of this, I started talking a lot about emotional intelligence. And I didn't talk about it in my book, but I feel like I missed something that I should have. But I'm very enamored by the folks that I see that can take a situation and just kind of let it graze off their shoulder or just bounce off of them without batting an eye. And hey, it's okay. And how we handle a situation, going back to what we just talked about a minute ago, if somebody makes a mistake, if I watch somebody do that to somebody and say, hey, it's okay, and help them correct themselves, that's one, a great leader. But also, I go back to that emotional intelligence, how they react to a situation. Look at all the CEOs of different companies, how they react to crisis, or maybe there's impact to the share of a stock for a company. Sometimes the CEO will really get upset about that, but how maybe internally they're struggling with it, but emotionally on the outside, they're portraying a strong attitude of, we can correct this, we're going to do it, but we can kind of rally the troops, so to speak. So emotional intelligence has really grown for me as being one of those key traits that really help good leaders.
Maybe we'll have to do a part two and add some EQ stuff. But you started out there saying all the great relationships you realized you've had as you were writing this book. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed putting this together with, because he was paying homage to all these amazing people who we cross paths with. And remember, we can't do anything on our own, right? So it's always nice to
Right.
see your humility, right? You were very humble in just how success worked for you, how it came to you, and all the people that played a role in that. So everyone stick around for a little longer. He's a great person to bring in to speak to your organization. We're scratching the surface right now with all this great leadership talk, but now You want to read us something from the book? I know you had the post-it notes there. I think there might be one or two areas you might want to preview for our audience here.
Yeah, I'll tell you my favorite quote. I got to find it.
I'm curious to see what you're going to pull off because there's certain stories I really enjoyed as we put this book together, and I'm sure we're going to get a good
Yeah.
preview here. Everyone, this book's going to be available online. It was a bestseller, so we'll tell you how to get that in just a few minutes.
Yeah. So, my favorite quote of the whole book, and people chuckle maybe a little bit based on who was the quote by. It was by Julia Roberts. I mean, she's the famous actress. But what she said, and I'll just read it from the book: when people walk away from you, let them go. Your destiny is never tied to anyone who leaves you. And it doesn't mean they are bad people. It just means that their part in your story is over. And that really came to light for me because one of the things I wrote about in my book is the trust that my bosses had in me at my job at Manitowoc Ice. They trusted me to make the decisions. They paid me good money to make decisions. And they never questioned any of my decisions. And both of those people that I wrote about in my book went on to advance their career. And so at the time, I was really discouraged, not discouraged, but I was kind of sad that they left me. But this quote was perfect timing in my life because it talks about in the beginning when people walk away from me, let them go. So I had to let those two folks go in my mind. And my destiny is never tied to anyone who leaves you. So my destiny is not tied to those two folks who left. It's me still in control of my destiny. And the best part about that is I still love my job and I love the people I work with. It's just that those two people now are not part of my work career. They're part of my friend family. And I think I was brought to that quote to live through that quote after writing this book. So that really hit home with me. And I've used it on many people. I've talked about the same situation because those same two people who left me also left a number of folks that I work with. And I felt it was important to kind of bring that. I even talked about that quote to them about that. So,
I love the quote, Charlie, and I love everything you stand for, all the great things you do. You're a heck of a guy. But while we are making this a piece of writing with author's advice, we talked about the great things a book can do for you professionally. But if there's advice you can give to a brand new writer who's just getting started, what's something you wish you knew maybe or would have realized before you started?
gosh, that's a tough question. I knew what I wanted to do, but I think I wish I could have elaborated more on some of the stories that I think of after the fact, kind of shoulda, woulda, coulda. And, but I'm very happy with how it came out. And I'm really happy with the results that I had with the sales of the book. I'm really happy with the impact it had on the people that didn't really know of their impact on my life. And I think one, they were very appreciative of it. And it kind of also made me think about the folks that perhaps I've impacted in their careers and not even knowing it, which I've mentioned a little bit.
Like I said, that was one of my favorite parts of the book because as we're learning more about Charlie, we're putting this book together. I'm learning more about the people who helped molded him and all the very unique stories that are in there. You'll have to just check them out yourself. We've teased a lot. But as we close this out, this is that entrepreneur show. So one of the ways I like to end it out is if you can pick any entrepreneur, dead or alive, Charlie, to sit down with and have a conversation with, right? Pick their brain. Who would you choose?
There's probably going to be a couple, but the first person that comes to mind is Ronald Reagan. Whether you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, I consider myself middle of the road.
Right.
I think that he was so profound in his learnings and how he would speak and how he would handle crises in his life. And he deflected a lot with humor, and his sense of humor really did him very well in his career. And he was just a very honest person. And he always tried to find the good in people. And I think that's, to answer your question, that's why I would pick Reagan. I'd love to sit down and have a discussion with him
Would it be in the White House?
wherever. Doesn't matter.
Oh, Charlie, well, I had a great time catching up with you. It's been too long. Everyone, he gave a little bit of leadership advice today. Where can we get in touch with you to book you as a speaker, where can we find your book? And everyone, make sure you subscribe to stay current with all these great entrepreneurs and leaders in the business world. Please share with a friend that needs some leadership help.
Absolutely. And the thing I would add too about the book is there's some personal learnings in this as well. And I talked about the impact of my wife on my life, and she was very active in that. And she knows it too. I've told her. But the book is available through Amazon bestseller. It has the tag, right? Because I got the seal now. Bestseller, pretty special.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well deserved.
Yeah. My website is charliecnewcomb.com.
All right, everyone. We'll be sure to head there, check him out, add him on LinkedIn, anywhere you are. My name is Vincent A. Lancey, and thank you for tuning in to a rare Double Dipper episode, right? Be sure to subscribe for That Entrepreneur Show, and as well as Writing with Authors here on YouTube. My name is Vincent A. Lancey. This is my good friend Charlie. He's got a great book. It went Amazon bestseller. Honored to play a part in your next chapter, right? He's getting ready to do some great things now as a speaker, lending this leadership advice forward and coaching. He can help you and get started today. Charlie, thanks again.
Thanks, Vincent. Great talking to you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I would love to hear your feedback. What did you love? What do you want to see more of? Are there any questions you would like me to ask the guests who come on the show? This show is not possible without you, the amazing listeners, so please email us at podcastsbylancey@gmail.com and let us know what you think. We'll also feature you on a later show. Please remember to subscribe to stay current with our amazing community of guests who will continue to come on the show, sprinkled in with solo episodes from me, Vincent A. Lancey. With that, I look forward to introducing more shows to you each and every week. And with that, we're signing off today. Enjoy the episodes and make it a great day ahead.